Have you ever stopped to think that maybe we are closer to the end of the world than we imagine? It's not an exaggeration. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's not just a scare story. What I'm going to tell you today is written in the most read and most studied book in all of human history, the Bible. And within it, there are prophecies, ancient words written thousands of years ago that describe signs and events that, according to the text itself, would mark the beginning of the end. What you might not know is that many of these prophecies are no longer in the future. They have already happened. Yes, they have already come true, right before our eyes. And if so many have already come true, what stops the remaining ones from coming true too? Today, we will go through 10 biblical prophecies about the end times that have already come true. And I guarantee you, some of them will give you chills. First prophecy, the return of Israel as a nation. Imagine a people who lose their land, their government, their political identity, and spend almost 2,000 years scattered around the world, living as strangers in foreign lands. If it were just human history, these people would have disappeared over time, mixed with other cultures. But that's not what happened with Israel. In the Bible, in the book of Ezekiel chapter 37, there is a vision known as the Valley of Dry Bones. God shows the prophet a valley full of dry bones and asks, "Can these bones live?" Ezekiel sees these bones coming together, gaining flesh, skin, and coming back to life. And God explains, "These bones are the whole house of Israel. Behold, I will open your graves and raise you from them, O my people, and bring you to the land of Israel." For centuries, this seemed impossible. Israel ceased to exist as a nation in 70 AD, when the Roman Empire destroyed Jerusalem. The Jews were scattered all over the planet. But against all odds, these people kept their traditions, their faith, and even their language. And then, on May 14, 1948, something historic happened. Israel was officially restored as a nation. It was as if that vision of Ezekiel had come true before the eyes of the world. Second prophecy, Jerusalem would return to Israel's hands. After becoming a nation again, Israel still didn't have full control of Jerusalem. The city, considered sacred to Jews, Christians, and Muslims, was divided. But the Bible, in Luke 21:24, records Jesus' words saying that Jerusalem would be trampled on by the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles are fulfilled. And that time was fulfilled in 1967, during the famous Six-Day War. Israel, surrounded by much larger enemy armies, achieved a quick and impressive victory. In just 6 days, it not only defended its territory but also conquered East Jerusalem, reunifying the city under its control. It was a moment that left the world stunned. Many believe it was another piece fitting into the puzzle of biblical prophecies. Third prophecy, knowledge would increase dramatically. In the book of Daniel chapter 12 verse 4, there is an intriguing phrase. At the time of the end, many will go to and fro, and knowledge will increase. For thousands of years, the pace of human advancement was slow. But in the last 100 years, something has changed radically. We went from the age of horse-drawn carriages to the age of space travel, from manual writing to artificial intelligence. Fourth prophecy, wars and rumors of wars. In Matthew 24:6, Jesus said, "You will hear of wars and rumors of wars, but the end is not yet." Wars have always existed, it's true. But in the last century, they have become more destructive and global than ever before. World War I, World War II, cold conflicts and never-ending tensions. The difference is that now, weapons have the power to destroy the entire world. Never before has humanity had the capacity to annihilate itself, until now. Fifth prophecy, famine and epidemics spread throughout the world. Luke 21:11 brings a clear warning. There will be great earthquakes, famines and pestilences in various places. In recent centuries, we have faced famine on historical scales. Entire areas of Africa and Asia suffer from food shortages, and epidemics have become increasingly fast and global. The Spanish flu in the early 20th century killed millions. HIV, Ebola, Zika, and more recently, COVID-19, which stopped the entire world. If before a disease took months or years to cross borders, today, with globalization, it can spread across the planet in a matter of hours. Sixth prophecy, the gospel preached to all nations. Matthew 24:14 says, "And this gospel of the kingdom will be preached in the whole world as a testimony to all nations, and then the end will come." When Jesus said this, the reach was limited. The message spread from city to city by word of mouth. But today, radios, televisions, the internet, and missions reach even remote tribes. There are apps that translate the Bible into hundreds of languages, some spoken by just a few hundred people. Never before in history has it been so easy to take the biblical message to every corner of the earth. Seventh prophecy, false prophets deceiving multitudes. Matthew 24:24 brings the warning. "For false Christs and false prophets will arise and perform great signs and wonders, so as to lead astray, if possible, even the elect." Today we see religious leaders taking advantage of faith to get rich, manipulate, and even lead people to destruction. Some found cults that end in tragedies. Others preach distorted messages that attract crowds, but move them away from biblical truth. The most frightening thing is that many really manage to convince people, even with signs and supposed miracles. Eighth prophecy, love growing cold. Matthew 24:12 is direct. Because of the increase of wickedness, the love of many will grow cold. We live in an era where people seem increasingly closed off, indifferent, and individualistic. Violence is growing, hatred on social media is intense, and empathy seems to be disappearing. The world is more technologically connected, but more emotionally distant. Ninth prophecy, violence as in the days of Noah. Genesis 6 describes that, before the flood, the earth was full of violence. Jesus said that in the last days it would be like in the days of Noah. Today, we see wars, massacres, brutal crimes, and daily tragedies. The trivialization of human life is shocking, and the feeling is that violence has no limits anymore. Tenth prophecy, signs in the sky. Luke 21:25 mentions signs in the sun, moon, and stars. In recent years, we have seen rare eclipses, blood moons, impressive meteor showers, phenomena that attract worldwide attention. Some natural, others still unexplained. These signs are not necessarily the end, but, according to the Bible, they would be part of the set of events that precede the final moment. These 10 prophecies are not theory, they are not vague stories. They have already happened. And if so many have already come true, what stops the rest from happening too? The Bible doesn't say when the end will be, but it does say that the signs would be clear and visible. And now that you know these signs, the question is, are you ready? If this message touched you, leave a like, subscribe to the channel and share this video. And don't go away. Click on the next video, where we will talk about the prophecies that are yet to be fulfilled, and what they mean for our generation. See you next time, and may God bless you.